Hey, so it's funny because during my last episode, which I think was last week, I said that it was getting better, but I crashed again, and it is what it is. Like I said in my previous episode, our mental health journey isn't linear. And so I crashed again. The past few days, I've been bedridden again. Um, and but today is a win because I managed to get my ass out off the bed and record something. So recording episodes in this podcast really inspires me because I feel like it's not because it's productive, but because I feel like I'm helping people by sharing my experiences. And at the same time, I've been doodling. I guess I've been channeling my energy through art. I guess you can call it art, whatever. Um, so today I thought of talking about anxiety, mainly focusing on panic attacks. Why? Because I've noticed that more and more of my friends or people in general have been opening up about anxiety, um, or opening up about symptoms that they feel and not knowing that that's anxiety. So I think we need to talk about anxiety even more. You know, so let me start by how I got diagnosed with anxiety disorder. It started, I think I've always had it, even since I was younger, um, or predisposed to have it. Like I had early symptoms, but they were left unchecked. So, ta-da, disorder. Anyway, it started when my family and I would have out of town trips, and we were a huge family, so we're all crammed up in one van with all our things in there, and you hardly have any leg room. And I remember from time to time, like feeling a strong urge to move, like I needed space to move. But at the time, I guess it wasn't as bad. So I got, I guess, distracted and got over that feeling. And then eventually, um, I'm a person who likes anything acidic. Any food that's acidic, especially green mangoes. Oh my god. So I love that. But then that means that I became acidic at a very young age. And then it just got worse as I grew older. I think it got worse in college and up until my early 20s. And it always happened, like the worst of my gastritis attacks always happened when I was alone. And if you think about the worst case scenario, that's what happened to me. Always the worst case scenario. Like whenever I'm commuting or whenever I'm in the mall walking by myself, that's when I had the worst gastritis attacks. So I strongly believe that those gastritis attacks is what I guess triggered my anxiety. But like it was already there, but that triggered it because every time I think of the worst case scenario, it does always happen. Like it is, like it gets confirmed that yep, it's gonna happen, worst case scenario. So my pain management became fucked up. Pardon my French. Like I would like any form of discomfort or pain, even if it's manageable, I would break into a full-blown panic attack, thinking that, it will get worse, the pain will get worse. Um, Kahit ano nga lang kahit feeling of being bloated lang, or after working out, when when you're panting and you're exhausted, that can easily trigger me. Um, and then, so that's how the panic attack started. And then I can't really remember how I was treated or if I took medications when that started. I don't think I did. But I don't know. I guess the anxiety parang nawala siya at a certain time, and then it came back again. And I remember this. It happened in 2014. I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I think, like, whenever I think of 2014, for some reason, my mental health was really not doing well at the time. I don't know why, but it wasn't. But that was the worst of my anxiety. I remember I lost a lot of weight and unhealthy na siya. Like, super payat ko. Why? Because every fucking day that I would go to work, so at the time I still lived in the south, so I would travel to Makati. So my way of going to the office is riding a cab, which I used to enjoy. But then I remember the moment that so my mom would give me a ride where the cabs were in the south, and I remember just being in the car and already dreading to ride the cab and go to work. And when I do get inside the cab, the anxiety starts, and I don't really know what I'm anxious about. Like, it became random. So before, it was just solely because of a gastritis attack, right? But then at the time, it was just anything could happen, or as simple as, like, kinakabahan ako, like, what if I need to pee? And everybody experiences that, right? Whenever they're traveling, like, what if they need to pee? But the answer is, okay, let's stop over somewhere and you go pee. But with me, it wasn't. Like, sobrang nagpapanik ako. I don't know why, but yeah. And meron din specific also to, still related to gastritis, na what if masira yung tiyan ko? For some reason, in the ride, masira yung tiyan ko, and I need to go to the restroom again. And what if I'm stuck in traffic and I can't do that, right? So every freaking day, I would endure my anxiety going to work. And I remember every time that I'm close to Makati, I would tell myself that I'm gonna bring myself to the ER. But then when I arrive in Makati and I've gone through the bad traffic of Manila, the anxiety would cease, and I won't feel the need. Di na necessary for me to go to the ER. I think it got really worse when at some point, it got worse in a sense na even just wearing a button-up shirt would cause me anxiety. Like, I would feel like I was choking. So I would hold my shirt here, grab it by the collar, and try to breathe because I feel like I'm choking, and then I have to unbutton it because I can't take it anymore. And I remember one of the people who share their experience about their mental health told me that she sort of experienced the same thing, like with her necklace, like she would feel like she was choking on her necklace. So it's just, I don't know, like you would think that you were, it's something unique to you and you're alone in it, but then you discover that other people experience it too. Anyway, so it got really worse, and then because I endured that during the ride, pagdating ko sa office, like I'm exhausted and all riled up, and I ended up being so irritable. Like, I would snap so easily on people. And I was just so angry all the time. Just so angry. And I didn't know where it was coming from. And I can't really remember what pushed me or how I thought that I needed to seek help again. So I wasn't diagnosed when I was experiencing this. I wasn't diagnosed yet, but of course, like I already knew that I had something. I don't know how I got to seeking for professional help, but I did, and of course, as expected, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder with panic attacks. And I was the kind of person who faints whenever I have a panic attack. Like some people with panic attack or anxiety disorders, they would usually hyperventilate, and they would usually hyperventilate. That's the common symptom among people with panic attacks or anxiety. But I am a fainter. And again, it's so weird to say that it's so cool, but it is, that I discovered another of my acquaintances who shared that she's a fainter too. So it's really bad, because it's dangerous for me to have a panic attack whenever I'm alone. So whenever I would feel something coming up, like let's say pag masakit yung tiyan ko, and my brain starts to hyper focus on that pain and think of the worst case scenario, what I would do is I would lay down on the floor and I try to calm myself down until the anxiety subsides. Because again, I can faint, and delikado yun, and I've experienced it. I in Hong Kong, no less, in a different country. Again, like that already crossed my mind that what if I had a gastritis attack in a different country, and so that happened. So I just woke up and felt acidic, and then I started getting nervous because I thought that it was gonna get worse, and I'm not in the Philippines. I don't know where the hospital is. So overshare. I tried to go to the restroom and see if it's something that I can dispose. But then it didn't help. It just made me more nervous and nervous. And ironically, when you get more nervous, right, the more that you become acidic, the more that the pain becomes worse. And so it did. And then I remember my ears like started ringing, and I stood up from the toilet seat and started walking, and then the next thing I knew, I was already on the floor. I fainted. And the good thing is, I guess somehow my body was able to manage to, I don't know, soften the, I don't know what the expression is, but my body, my hand, I think, tried to break the fall, because I felt the pain in my hand when I woke up. Thank God that, I didn't hit my head or anything, but that's how bad it can get. How did I get better? I can't lie, like the anxiety is still here. I'm more confident in my body though. Like I'm active and I don't panic at being exhausted anymore, and I have a little bit of confidence in managing pain, but it's still there. Like I'm still anxious of traveling ng malayo. Like it's still the same things. Like what if I need to pee? What if I need to go to the restroom, etc. But I'm a little bit better because of medication, consistent consultations with my psychiatrist and therapist. So again, I know it's not accessible in our country. It's so fucking expensive, but I would really recommend, if it's accessible to you, if you can afford it, to also get therapy alongside with having your symptoms being treated by a psychiatrist. Because when I started therapy, that's when I began understanding where my anxieties were coming from. So with insight, it becomes easier to manage, as opposed to before that I was only consulting with my psychiatrist and it's just band-aid solution. The symptoms were being treated, but you don't really know where it's coming from. Yeah, what else can I say about anxiety or panic attacks? I mean, just now I thought of like, how can you manage a panic attack when it happens? But I guess I can talk about that in a different episode, because all I can think of right now are the things that you see on social media, right? Like breathing and focusing on things that you can touch, etc., etc. So I'm not really prepared for it. I mean, I'm not prepared for this, going on freestyle again. So bear with me, pardon me if I got lost or if I said anything that didn't make any sense. But I guess that's it today. Hopefully I get better. Tomorrow I have my assessment again, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to work. Not being able to do anything is not doing me any good as well. So yeah, I think that's it. Bye.